Welcome to Bioglam Curvy Models, the place where beauty, confidence, and individuality shine in all their forms. Here, we celebrate women who embrace their curves, redefine fashion standards, and inspire the world with their stories. This is where Carobi Parada McCoy's journey begins, a journey of self-love, empowerment, and unapologetic visibility. I've always believed that curves tell stories, not just about beauty or fashion, but about identity, heritage, and the courage to love yourself exactly as you are. My name is Carobi Parada McCoy, and this is my story, the story of a girl who learned that confidence is not found in mirrors, but in moments of truth. I was born and raised in Florida, surrounded by warmth, color, and rhythm. The sunshine shaped me, the sea, the sounds, the laughter in our home. I come from a proud Latin family where tradition, love, and expression were part of everyday life. My mother had a way of making every outfit feel like an occasion, and my father always reminded me that no dream is too big if you dare to start. Those words became my quiet mantra, dare to start. As a little girl, I loved fabric. I'd sneak into my mom's closet, wrapping myself in scarves, imagining they were dresses from faraway runways. But when I looked at magazines and TV, I didn't see girls who looked like me. The models were beautiful, but thin, narrow, and distant from the world I knew. I thought, maybe fashion isn't for me. Yet, deep inside, I felt something different. A spark that whispered, you belong here too. School was a mix of light and shadows. I was social, talkative, always the friend who could make people laugh, but there were also whispers, sideways glances, comments about my body that stuck longer than they should have. You're pretty for a big girl. It's a sentence that can slice through a young heart. For a long time, I measured my worth by comparison, not by truth. I tried to shrink myself, thinking that smallness meant acceptance. Then something shifted. I remember one summer standing in front of the mirror, exhausted by diets, mirrors, and expectations. I was tired of apologizing for existing in my own body. That day, I decided to make a promise. I will never apologize for being me again. I didn't yet know what that promise would lead to, but it felt like freedom. When I first started posting online, it wasn't about modeling. It was about connection. I shared bits of my daily life, fashion hauls, selfies, and little affirmations I told myself to stay strong. But something amazing happened. Women started writing to me saying, "You look like me. Thank you for being real." That's when I realized this wasn't just social media, it was a mirror for all of us who had spent too long unseen. Fashion became my language of self-love. I learned to style my body, not hide it. I experimented. Colors, textures, silhouettes that celebrated my shape instead of disguising it. My curves weren't obstacles, they were art. Every outfit became a declaration of self-respect. When I walked down the street in a body-hugging dress, I wasn't seeking validation, I was claiming space. I remember my first real photo shoot. I was terrified. The lights were bright, the camera unforgiving. I thought, what if I don't look like a model? But as the photographer clicked away, I started to let go. I smiled, I moved, I felt the rhythm of my own confidence rise. When I saw the pictures, I didn't just see a body, I saw a woman who had survived doubt and turned it into grace. That's when I knew this is what I was meant to do. Being Latina has always been a huge part of my identity. Our culture is warmth, passion, and expression. In fashion, I wanted to bring that energy, the color, the confidence, the unapologetic joy. I wanted girls from Miami to Mexico City, from Guatemala to the Bronx, to look at my feed and see themselves reflected in beauty. Because representation isn't about fame, it's about belonging. Over time, my community grew and so did my sense of purpose. I began collaborating with brands that valued inclusivity, companies that understood that beauty doesn't come in one size. I worked with stylists and photographers who celebrated my curves instead of hiding them. For every shoot, I reminded myself that I wasn't just posing, I was proving that visibility is power. And with every collaboration, my confidence deepened. I started to understand that fashion could be political, personal, and powerful all at once. That every time a curvy woman appears in a campaign, she's rewriting the rules of beauty for the next generation. I wanted to be part of that revolution, not just a face in front of the camera, but a voice behind it. There were times, of course, when I doubted myself. The influencer world can be competitive and sometimes cruel. People think it's all glamour, but behind every picture is 100 decisions, self-editing, and sometimes tears. There were nights I lay awake wondering, am I enough? Am I doing the right thing? But then I would think about the girl who once stood in front of the mirror, afraid to take up space, and I'd whisper back to her, keep going, you're not done yet. Slowly, my name started appearing in features and online articles. People began calling me a plus-size influencer or curvy model. At first, those labels felt strange. I didn't wake up one day and decide to be an influencer. I became one because I decided to be honest. Still, I embraced those titles with gratitude because they meant visibility, and visibility meant change. The term curvy has power. It's not just a shape, it's an identity reclaimed. For too long, society has taught women to hide behind loose clothes, to apologize for their hips, to edit their lives to fit into smaller spaces. But we're rewriting that story now. Being curvy isn't a limitation, it's liberation. Every curve is a memory of survival, joy, and self-acceptance. There was a moment when a brand I loved asked me to speak at an empowerment panel. It was the first time I stood on stage in front of hundreds of women, lights shining, microphone in hand. My heart raced, but when I looked out at that crowd, I saw women nodding, smiling, some even tearing up. I spoke from the heart. Confidence doesn't come from changing who you are, it comes from remembering who you've always been. When I stepped off that stage, I knew this was my purpose. Not just to model clothes, but to model courage. As my online presence grew, I also learned balance. It's easy to lose yourself in the world of constant scrolling, comparing, and performing. I started setting boundaries, logging off when I needed peace, prioritizing my real life over my feed. My husband always reminded me, the algorithm can wait, your heart can't. That became a mantra. Some days I still wake up and feel unsure. Confidence isn't a straight line, it's a daily practice. There are days when I love every inch of myself, and others when I have to remind myself that worth doesn't disappear just because self-doubt visits. But I've learned to give myself grace. I remind myself that healing and self-love are lifelong journeys. There's a quiet kind of strength that comes from being real on the internet. When you show your stretch marks, your laughter lines, your real body, you risk criticism, but you also build connection because people aren't craving perfection anymore. They're craving truth. One of my proudest moments was when a group of young creators reached out to tell me they started their own pages after seeing mine. They said, "You showed us that we don't have to wait for permission." And that to me is everything. I don't want to be the only one shining. I want to help others find their own light. Over time, I began incorporating more than just fashion into my content. Beauty, lifestyle, travel, even wellness. I wanted to show that plus-size women live full, exciting, adventurous lives. We swim, we dance, we travel, we fall in love, we live loudly. The world has tried to define us by limitation. We define ourselves by possibility. My trips with my husband became part of that story. Every photo we took wasn't just about luxury or aesthetics, it was about joy. Whether we were exploring city streets, beaches, or simply having coffee in the morning, I wanted people to see that love looks good on everybody. Sometimes when I scroll back through my feed, I see the growth, not just in followers, but in spirit. I see a girl who once hid behind filters become a woman who walks into the light. I see someone who turned insecurities into influence. And I think if only that girl could see herself now. But even as I've grown, I stay grounded in gratitude. My family keeps me humble. My community keeps me inspired. And every new follower reminds me that the message is still spreading. To every woman who has ever doubted her beauty, I see you. I've been you. And I promise, confidence isn't something you find one day and never lose. It's something you choose every morning when you look in the mirror and decide, I am enough today. The world is changing. Brands are beginning to see the beauty and diversity, and more voices are joining this movement. But